What's up, man? We're back. Hey, it's gonna be a brief show today. The big guy's got a lot to do. It's golf season. Well, it's never not golf season. And I have the Showdown Hoedown. It's the flagship of my station, and I got to do that show tonight. So this one's getting put out a little bit earlier. Furthermore, it's NFL season 2, and I do NFL content, new guy. So come check that out. Okay, I'm the Degenerate 75. I hope you're just now finding me, but this is college football, so you're probably fucking not. So if you are, welcome, new guy. I appreciate you being here. What I do is I give a couple pointers on college football DFS and some bets. That's what I do. Going to keep it short and simple. If you want to see, if you're curious, I do this every Friday night. I also do golf on Friday, Saturday, and Wednesday, and I do NFL on Tuesday and Saturday with my boy John Galt JD. You should come check it out. Feel free to like and subscribe because you can't help but notice. There's no ads on these videos because I'm not a fucking poor. So all I ask is go drop me a like and a sub in return. Without further ado, I bring to you college football for Saturday. What's tomorrow's date? 9/17. Let's get going. First of all, last week, brutal week for betting. I bet my mortgage on Alabama. Didn't go well. Actually, I think I started out 0-4 and rescued the day and managed to go 2-4. So our first losing week of the year, especially with the big bet on Bama, puts me at 10-10 for the season, which isn't great, but at least my top play of the week has hit 3 of the 4 weeks. So I'm still up like a negligible amount for the year. Hopefully we get back at it this week. Let's see. Where's our games for today? Games. Oh, wait, it's not zoomed in. This is ridiculous. You can tell I brought my A game here. All right, so games I'm looking to bet tomorrow. First of all, we're going to do sports betting, but then we can also going to use this for our DFS, right? Games I like for tomorrow. Let's see. I'm not very prepared. I've been giving a lot of myself to my spreadsheet. Let's see. Games I like tomorrow. South Carolina. I love Shane Beamer. I love the OU transfers that went over there. What am I talking about? I don't fucking love Spencer Rattler. They suck. They're not very good. I wanted South Carolina to be good this year because I really am a Shane Beamer fan. But Georgia, I don't think they're world beaters this year. Like, I don't think they're like, a quasi NFL team, but they're going to beat the brakes off South Carolina. I think South Carolina is going to struggle to score 10 points, and I think Alabama can easily get to 35. So I will take Georgia and the points, which is always dangerous. This OU-Nebraska game, you can't help but notice I'm wearing an OU hat, but I ain't betting it. That line was 3.5. Now it's up to 11. The money is coming in hard on the Sooners. I mean hard. I would have thought that maybe now as Scott Frost is gone, people would have bought the whole Nebraska's going to rally narrative, but I'm out. Other games that I like, give me BYU. I feel like Oregon kind of got exposed against Georgia. Sure, Georgia's like a class above, but BYU's kind of like me. They're kind of like a poor guy Georgia. They're mean and tough and physical, and I think that they're actually a very legit football team. If they weren't missing their 2 wide receivers, this would probably be my top play of the week. Because they're missing their top 2 wide receivers, I just like them to cover against Oregon. I think that they beat them, actually. I'd probably moneyline bet that. Going to keep riding Minnesota. I think Minnesota is just one of those teams that just will grind you to death. They're going to give up legit 7 points in this game. If that, Colorado is a dumpster fire. And Minnesota, just like I said last time, even when it's a big line, they just keep running the ball down your throat, and they end up getting a touchdown or 2 in the 3rd and 4th quarter and always get there with the cover. So I'll take that. Faux show. Other game I really like tomorrow is Kansas versus Houston. Give me Houston all day. What are we doing here? I'm getting 8.5. Like, this is Kansas, man. They're one of the worst teams in the country. What the fuck are we doing? What are we doing here? So I'm definitely all about some Houston tomorrow. Yes, they have not looked as good as they did last year, but like we're getting a little ahead of our skis here on Kansas. Pump the brakes, brother. It's still Kansas. They're not deep with talent yet, brother. My favorite game tomorrow, it's pretty simple. It's Mississippi State versus LSU, and I'm going to take Mississippi State and the points. You want to know why? I think LSU just really sucks. I think that is chaos. I think that they have a toxic environment down there. Pretty much the same thing I think is about to happen with A&M when they lose to Miami this weekend. I don't have that on the board, but give me Miami. I'm here for the chaos. I'm here for them to fall apart. And so I'll take that one. And the last game I like quite a bit, SMU over Maryland. I've watched Maryland. They're not very good. Give me SMU. I think they're an up-and-coming program. I'm all about them, right? So there's your bets. We're 6-6. Let's see. How many am I doing this week? 6. So we're going to hit at least 4 out of 6. I guarantee it. I fucking make my own bets. I'm cool with it. Okay, let's see. What do we want to see? Public. All right, let's get to the slate tomorrow. If you're like, hey, that looks kind of boring and dull, well, it does, right? Like if you want to, if you're curious, like the fancy one is, let's see. This is my one from last week. This is what I send out to all the members of my Patreon. Like I color code it and tell them the ownership, all their targets, all that. Who's a good cash play? Who's a good GPP play? Who is a good upside play? All of those, you can see I do it for every game. I tell them the games to target, some sneaky games to target, all of that. It's very color-coded and pretty. And this one that we're looking at is, oh, by the way, if you want to know more about that, just go check out the Patreon over there, right? You sign up, you get onto my Discord, you get all this stuff. Not to mention you get golf and football, all kinds of shit. So if you're interested, go check it out, you motherfather. If not, just enjoy the free shit. So that's what this will look like when it's done. But for right now, you get this one. You get the ugly one. So let's talk about some things here. We need to zoom out a little bit. All right. So some games for tomorrow and some players, right? Georgia, the problem you run into with Georgia, and this is the key to college football DFS. If you really want to know the key to college football DFS, new guy, remember this one rule. You need competitive, high-scoring games. And if you don't know, Georgia's not going to give up very many points tomorrow. And if they're not going to give up very many points, they're not going to keep their pedal to the metal. And if they're not going to keep their pedal to the metal, it really kills their upside, right? I like both of their running backs in this matchup, but like there's a decent chance both of them are going to be done by midway through the third quarter. Stetson Bennett, they finally made a reasonable price again at $7,300, and he has a very safe floor. However, there's just no chance this game shoots out and he throws 4 touchdowns for 380 yards. There's zero chance of it, and you kind of need those quarterbacks to win GPP. So I'm not in on this game. This OU-Nebraska game, OU, the problem with OU is all their guys are priced up, right? DraftKings has the correct guys priced up. And OU, this ain't the old OU. This ain't slapdick OU versus Lincoln Riley. They actually have a defense now, and I actually think this game will probably come in lower scoring than people are going to think. So I don't really love stacking this game, as the OU players need to absolutely smash to pay off those salaries. And I do think these Nebraska guys like Grant and Palmer that may seem like good values, maybe not as smash plays as you think they are, because I don't think Nebraska is going to score 28 points. That's my opinion. I've been wrong before, dude. Okay, this is one of those games you got to love, right? Both teams have right at a 30-point implied total, Purdue and Syracuse, right? And the only problem I really see with this game is it's not clear who is going to get the usage, right? Purdue has a plethora of wide receivers. The Jones guy is averaging 14 targets a game. Get the fuck out of here. Okay, I don't know how sustainable that is, but he better get 14 targets if he's 8,000. Syracuse, they got a really good running back, Tucker. You got to look at playing him. If this game shoots out, you got to love a Purdue stack, run it back with Tucker. That makes a lot of sense. This Western Kentucky Indiana game, Indiana's actually got a very decent offense. Problem is, it's not very concentrated. They like to spread the rock around. Western Kentucky actually has a pretty serviceable offense too. Don't forget week 1, or was it week 0? Everybody was stacking Reed and what is his name? Demario Davis. From Western Kentucky. I think they're still very viable. A 28-point total, that's a sneaky game that could shoot out. This Cincinnati-Miami of Ohio game, stay away from it. It's just not. It's not a competitive game. Cincinnati is it has no chance to shoot out, and if you're trying to win GPPs, that's not the game to do it. UCLA has a 38-point total. You got to love it because they got some guys that can go off. DTR, Charbonnet, they really are usage monsters. So if you think that this game could shoot out, Southern Alabama could find some scores, and UCLA is keeping the pedal to the metal, you got to play them. But keep in mind, they set out DTR and Charbonnet. They greatly reduced them or set them out last week simply because they want to keep them fresh. So if our boy Chip Kelly starts to feel this game blowing out, he's going to get off of it. He's going to say, see you, bye. See you, bye. Notre Dame, Cal. I mean, this estimate at running back, it looks like a pretty legit option, especially in cash. But like this game, there's no upside in this game. 25-15 is what the point totals are. Get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. Penn State, Auburn. I actually think this is going to be a low-scoring game. Penn State, all their guys are very fairly priced. Same with Auburn. But, like, if there's no chance to shoot out, I don't care how fairly priced you are. That's the game script I'm going with. If you think it's going to shoot out, that's a great game to get a lot of players at very reasonable prices. A sneaky game here. I think Ole Miss has a pretty big offense, and their guys, like they're both running backs are very viable. Evans is like a 250-yard threat anytime. Problem is he's just not getting a ton of carries. They're actually giving quite a bit of looks to Judkins here. I assume that's how you say it. Triggs getting tons of targets, the USC transfer, and then you got Mingo, who's kind of their top wide receiver. If you think Georgia Tech is going to come out and play efficient offense, which they've actually shown, they played Clemson, but nobody plays good offense against Clemson. But they've actually shown to have a pulse. This ain't the old Georgia Tech wishbone shit from 3 years ago, right? This is a legit offense. I would, if you think Georgia Tech can run it and can put some points on the board, Ole Miss will score. That becomes shootout type game. This is another one of those totals we love. Both teams are right around 30, Vanderbilt and NIU. That right guy screwed everybody last week at fantasy. He just didn't play well. So I'll probably go back and play him, right? He's very stackable, great GPP play. If NIU shoots out and Wright is keeping the pedal to the metal, as much as he runs the ball, as well as he can throw it when he's playing well, very legitimate option. You got to love this running back from NIU, Brown. This game, the BYU, you really got to love BYU because their usage is so concentrated, right? With what is it, Romney and Nakua out, their wide receivers are just a couple punts that are probably going to be on the field for most of the game. They have the really good running back Brooks, and Hall is a very serviceable quarterback, and they have a 27 point team total. There you go. And I don't think Oregon's that great. If you want to play Bo Nix at 5,500, it makes a lot of sense, but I'm just going to tell you a little secret that not a lot of people know. Bo Nix fucking sucks. There you go, brother. Colorado, Minnesota. If you play a Colorado player, I guess Fontenot is an absolute punt I put on here, but don't do it, Bob. Don't do it, man. Minnesota, the problem is I think they're going to get so far out ahead. Ibrahim at 9,400, he just cannot pay off that. He's going to need over 30 points to pay that off. No, thank you. I'd be more interested in Potts at 6,400, but why even get into a blowout game where there's no upside? And if you really think Kansas doesn't suck, which I do think Kansas sucks, but if you think Kansas is good, you got to love a Daniels Grimm stack and then run it back with a Houston stack, because we already seen Houston has already been in 2 shootouts in their 3 games, right? So Toon tends to get there, Dell tends to get there, Golden gets there, and don't forget to check out my man Manjack. You got to look at him, right? I have not. Those are all the DraftKings games. I haven't even done all the FanDuel games yet because, well, there's only so many hours in a day, you motherfather. But there's some things to consider. Once again, if you want to see my whole pretty worksheet with all the ownership, the cash, the sneaky games, and all that shit that looks like this, well, then go check out the Discord. If not, I'll see you guys again next Friday. I'm gonna keep trying to grow college football, even though none of you motherfathers like it and you watch stupid fucking content. But I don't care. I'm a champion. I hope to see you guys next time. I hope you kick some ass tomorrow, and I hope you enjoy my outro.